Hello and welcome back to Illustrator, and today we're going to be going over a few tips on how to make an Art Deco inspired travel poster. This is one that I made last year, and unfortunately I have misplaced and lost the working file, so the .ai Illustrator file for this, so I only have the image for it now, unfortunately, so I can't show you how I put that together, but I can show you an example that's similar to this. So how I started making this poster is I found a couple of images for inspiration. So the first one is the I believe this is the Great American Tower, the one with the tiara downtown. And I used this as inspiration for my poster for one of the buildings. And don't forget, you need at least 3 things in your poster: a background and then some text as well. So how I started this is I took my image here and I went in with the shape tool, and the shape tool is huge for this project. So with the shape tool, let's see, what did I do? I went all the way up to where the tiara begins, and I made a rectangle. So that's the main form of the tower. So maybe something like that. Yep, that should work. Let's move that to the side there for a sec. And then I made another rectangle for this kind of side portion of the tower. And I also started choosing some colors for these portions of the design. So maybe let's see, what did I use? I used a darker color. Why don't we do a slightly different color this time, but we'll still choose something dark. So last time I did that like teal blue looking thing. Maybe this time I'll do like something a little warmer. So maybe I'll choose like a dark red. There we go. We'll choose like a dark red for that. You know what? I'm going to use my eyedropper tool, steal this color. That way I know where I'm starting. Maybe like a slightly lighter red. Maybe move it up into the orange just a little bit. There we go. Well, maybe a little bit more. There we go. Let's do something like that. And then we'll move that into position. Right over here. Then I'm going to do Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste. Move that over. There we go. Why don't we center these? There we go. Right on that rectangle. It's not quite the same, but that's alright. And then we also want a couple more rectangles. And then lastly, we gotta make this little tiara portion. So to do that, I would suggest, if you have something that can't really be made with the shape tool, I would suggest going in with the pen tool, like so, and using straight lines, but only creating half of the design. So I'm only going to go create half this design here, something like that. Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste, and we're going to make a duplicate of this half here. And here's a quick trick to get that design to look like it's a mirror image. We're going to go up to Object, Transform, and Reflect, and hit OK. And then now we can put these two halves together, and bada bing, bada boom, we got the top of the tower. We can even select both of them, go over to our Pathfinder tool, just right over here. There we go. We can hit Unite, make that one shape. I can drag that over, and I want to put it in the background behind all these other rectangles. So to do that, I'm going to click on the object. I'm going to go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. There we go. For a background, I suggest doing some kind of gradient. And to make a gradient, I suggest creating a rectangle that spans the entirety of your design. And then over here in your fill options, you have a solid fill option for a color. You have a no fill option, and then right there in the middle, you have a gradient. And you have a few options that pop up when you choose the gradient. You can change the angle of the gradient. So I'm going to choose 90 degrees, so it's up and down. And we can choose the fill color, which should be right down here. So if we double click on this color at the end of the gradient slider, it's preset to be in grayscale. So it's preset to be in black and white. So to change that, we're going to go up to this option in the upper right hand corner, and we're going to click this second option right here, RGB, and that should bring up the full color scale. And so if we choose a color, I'm going to try to choose that like rich red orange, something similar at least. There we go. That's pretty close. We can choose the color at the end of the gradient. And so I'm going to double click this second one. Again, go to RGB. I'm going to try to match that blue up there. It's pretty close. Oh, that's close enough. And so now we have a shape, a rectangle that's filled with a gradient, but it's covering up the building that we made. So I'm going to go back to Object, Arrange, and send it to the back. And then now we have a gradient as a background, and we have started to create our shape building, our Deco-inspired building in the foreground. And so that's how I would suggest starting your Art Deco-inspired poster.